What's good, everyone? It's Divine Sense Boxing back in the building. You guys see the title of the video. It may come as a shock to some of you, and perhaps some of you are not so shocked. Maybe you actually agree with me that this fight will be an upset. I'm about to jump right into the reasons I feel that way. But first and foremost, if you're coming to the channel for the first time, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. If we can't agree, well, I apologize, but hopefully we can agree to disagree and you subscribe and stay a part of this conversation. I would love to have you a part of the channel. Now, without further ado, for those of you who don't know me, this is what I like to do. I like to break down fights in every which way possible. Most times I take 2-3 weeks doing a lot of film studies. I take this stuff very, very seriously. I don't like to come out on a whim and just have a gut feeling and make a video. A lot of my subscribers have been waiting several weeks for me to drop this very video, and it's finally come. So I've gathered all my thoughts, I've gathered all my points and all the things that I think stand out the most to me, and I've now come to my conclusion. Before I get into any of the stylistic viewpoint of the fight and how I think it will go down, first let me do a refresher with the tail of the tape. Anthony Joshua is 31 years old, he's 6'6", and he's got an 82-inch reach. Usyk, on the other hand, he's 34, so 3 years older. He's 6'3", so 3 inches shorter, and he's got a 78-inch reach, which is 4 inches shorter. So, as far as the tail of the tape is concerned, Joshua does have the edge in that department. He will be the bigger man. He'll be the longer man, and that should pose a threat to Usyk when it comes to the jab, the straight right hand, the check left hook, and all those beautiful boxing mechanics, and rightfully so. He is the true heavyweight, and he's one of the juggernauts in the division. A lot of people have Joshua the best heavyweight in the world. Some have Fury, some have Wilder, but a lot of people do have Joshua as the best heavyweight out there. Now, I want to now throw in some key points for food for thought on things that stand out to me. First thing is, if you guys didn't know, the last time Anthony Joshua fought a southpaw was on April 9th, 2016, which is 10 fights ago. So it's like a medium length, I guess you can say, of lack of better words, since the last time he saw southpaw. I've seen more. Orthodox fighters sometimes go 10 years without ever fighting a southpaw. So it's not too bad, but it has been a little bit of time since he's fought a southpaw, and he's going in there against a very skilled fighter in Usyk as well. Rather, it would be a factor in the fight. That'll be yet to be seen, but I did want to throw that out there. I made this a very big point in the Pacquiao-Spence fight as well, where Pacquiao hadn't seen a fellow southpaw, that is, in 19 fights. So when you haven't seen a certain style for a while, you do have to make very certain adjustments. You do have to change your game plan around quite a bit when it comes to how you move around the ring, how you defend, and how you attack everything. So that's just a quick little food for thought. Now, on the next point that I want to point out when it comes to Joshua, a lot of people ask me when I've spoken about Joshua before, okay, so what's your biggest beef with Joshua? Why don't you have him as the best heavyweight in the division? Well, I definitely think he's top 3. No problem with that whatsoever. Why I think he's not the best, or if I want to nitpick and look at things that are very glaring to me, that I think that should be mentioned, is a simple fact that, well, he's never fought Wilder, he's never fought Fury, and there's one other guy who he hasn't fought that I feel like he should have fought when the time was right, that would upscale his resume, in my opinion, and that is Luis Ortiz. Now, a lot of people might find that funny. They might laugh at that. They say, oh, man, you talking about the 50-year-old Ortiz and blah, blah, blah. Well, hate it or love it, there was a time where, Luis King Kong Ortiz was a very feared man in the heavyweight division. Maybe not so much now in 2021, but he definitely was in 2016, 17, 18. And nobody wanted to fight him except for Wilder. Wilder fought him twice. I do think that if Joshua wanted to fight him, he could have definitely fought him, and he just chose to fight other people. Now, people say, oh, you're just saying Ortiz is better than Joseph Parker or better than the Klitschko victory and stuff like that. Well, that's a matter of an opinion, but I feel like Ortiz was a guy that was ducked by many heavyweights, and Joshua was one of them. That's just my opinion. And so that hopefully answers people's questions on why I don't place Joshua as the number one heavyweight. Now, I'm moving on to another key point before I get into the quick little breakdown of the styles of the fights. I want to invite everybody to revisit a fight between a guy named Corey Sanders and Vladimir Klitschko. There's a very shocking fight. Corey Sanders, some guy from South Africa that a lot of people really didn't know. And, he was a southpaw with quick hands and pretty decent fighter, respectable heavyweight, but nobody gave him a chance against the mighty Vladimir Klitschko at a time where he was becoming the most feared man in the heavyweight division. He was on the rise, and ultimately Corey Sanders went in there with his quick southpaw hand speed, knocked him down several times in the first round, and then ultimately finished him in the second round to shock the heavyweight world, to shock the boxing world, and took home the victory against Vladimir Klitschko. So the reason why I bring that up is, you get a fast hands, good boxing pedigree and IQ and of a southpaw going up there against a big, strong heavyweight like Klitschko. And Klitschko was heavier and bigger and longer than Corey Sanders as well. So kind of interesting. I invite everybody to go up. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. Corey Sanders, that's Corrie, Sanders versus Vladimir Klitschko. And go watch that fight. And for me, we may see shades of that in this fight between Anthony Joshua and Usyk. I don't think it'll be over as quick. I think Joshua will be much more prepared for Usyk compared to Klitschko was prepared for Corey Sanders. But at the same time, we may see shades of it, as in quick hand speed from a southpaw who can put punches together and who are very accurate with those punches. Now, let's get into the styles between the two fighters and how I see the fight going. Well, for me, it's actually, this part was not too difficult to really look into, because for me, it's a matter of Usyk being the smaller guy, and pretty much as a professional, have always been a cruiserweight. So he's taken a big challenge to step up and fight one of the juggernauts in the heavyweight division. And I give Usyk full credit. You have to. He stepped into the heavyweight division, and he could have fought a plethora amount of other heavyweights out there. He could have fought Joseph Parker. He could have fought Luis Ortiz. He could have waited for Andy Ruiz. He could have done a lot of different things. And he said, nah, I'm going straight for Joshua. I'm going straight into the lion's den to take out the champ and become, ultimately and hopefully the unified heavyweight champion like I was in the cruiserweight division. That seems to be his goal. He's very ambitious. He's not scared, and he's very confident in his skills, and I give him full credit for that. He's an Olympic gold medalist just like Joshua, and they definitely know about each other. That's a guarantee. They know each other more than what a lot of people probably know, and that's also what makes this fight very interesting. Now, for me, it's a matter of Usyk, being able to stay away from the bigger man. There's no point of trying to go toe-to-toe. You can work the inside, but you got to be careful and be aware that Joshua is big, he is strong, he does have power. But Joshua has shown over time that he can be hurt. He can even be knocked down. He can even be stopped. So if you're Usyk, you know that that's also a possibility. You know that if you touch him on the chin, you can get some type of damage in there early, maybe put some water in the basement, go to the body, and see and test Joshua's stamina, which also has been a problem for him in past fights. Now, another thing I want to mention real quickly, just popped in my head, is, you look at their Andy Ruiz fight, right? Andy Ruiz, smaller guy, stature-wise, than what Joshua was, shorter reach, and he was able to get on the inside, land quick punches, and put combinations together on Joshua. And yeah, Joshua made the adjustments and came back in the second fight and did much better, but still, it's very glaring to me on how such a shorter, not only shorter in height, but also much shorter reach, and a guy like Andy Ruiz was able to get through some of his punches and land 2 or 3 of his own. And I believe that Usyk is just as good, if not better than Ruiz when it comes to putting combinations together, going the body head. He is very athletic. He's in incredible shape, and he's got a phenomenal boxing IQ. So if Andy Ruiz can land, in my opinion, Usyk can definitely land on Joshua. There's no doubt about it. Now, can he hurt him, stop him, drop him? I don't know. But what I will say is that if you're Usyk, you're definitely preparing for a 12-round fight. You got to make sure that you're in shape to box, stay away from the bigger man, not to the point where your back's always against the ropes, but boxing smartly. And you control the distance, you control the pace of the fight, and you have to use your ring generalship. If you can do those things and keep Joshua's power, especially that right hand, at bay, and use your southpaw stance to your advantage and keep Joshua off balance, then you've got a very good chance to win this fight. Now, of course, what's the best punch against a southpaw? Straight right hand. What's Joshua's best punch? Straight right hand. So Usyk, he's going to know that when he goes into the fight. Let's see if he can stay away from it. For Joshua, I just feel like, jab will be very important. You got the height, you got the reach advantage. You got to establish your jab. You have to. You got no choice. If you try to go in there and throw bombs, it's not gonna look good for you. But I'm not too worried about that. Joshua is normally very disciplined when it comes to that, especially in the early rounds. Joshua sometimes is known to be a late starter and take rounds off. He does do that. But he's always been pretty disciplined when using the jab. Against a guy like Usyk, who has the ability to come in on you really quick and offer that awkward style, you're going to have to land that jab. You're going to have to land your left hook as he tries to pop in, and you're going to definitely have a battle on your hands, keeping your foot to the outside of Usyk's foot, having those the two styles, the orthodox and southpaw styles, clash. So that's something that you're going to have to worry about. And set up your punches. Take your time. Be patient. Jab to the body, jab to the head. Like I said, hook, occasional right hands to the body. Be patient with Usyk. Don't be overzealous. Don't gas yourself out, and believe that your shots will come as they go, and you can get them out late to middle rounds. That would be my suggestion for Joshua. I just think that with all the points that I just mentioned, it makes the ingredients of a very possible upset. And I think there are a lot of people out there that are not giving Usyk enough credit. They think that, it'll be a good fight, but he's just too small. He's not strong enough. Joshua's too big, too strong. But boxing is much more intricate than that. It is the sweet science. Now, normally, you got to be a great small man to be a great big man. But it has happened before where a cruiserweight moved up to heavyweight and became a multiple-time champion, and that's the great Evander Holyfield. So it has been done before. Will it be repeated? Yet to be seen. But my final prediction for this fight is I got Usyk in a 12-round win decision. I think he hurts Joshua in a couple rounds, and ultimately controls the fight and grabs the decision to make the upset. That's my opinion. Leave your prediction in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Make sure you smash that like button. As I said, hopefully you at least love this type of conversation. You love boxing enough to subscribe. Stay a part of the conversation. I hope to see you on the next video. Peace, love, respect. Stay strong. I'll be back with another one. Peace.